Please Crew. It's your girl Aja,
Charlene.
and we got a special guest, Kiana.
Hi guys.
She is filling in for Brittany today since Brittany is unable to join
We love
us.
you, Brittany.
We love you, Britt. But today we're going to be talking about our favorite show that came out. It's an issarae production called Sweet Life on HBO Max. If you haven't watched it, what are you doing? You need to go watch it. Before you listen to this episode, go watch it. If you did watch it, interact with us. Tell us, your favorite points from this episode and why you love the show. So, without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. So, first off, tell me why y'all love the show. Like, why did y'all love the show? Or, like, and who's your favorite and who's your least favorite and why?
So I actually like the show because I feel like it encourages you to want to push more towards the things that you want to do in life, whether it be individually as an entrepreneur or even working under someone, just being on your grind, because they were literally, even though it was a show production, independently outside of the show, if you would look at their social media, they were business people. They were about their business. They were on their grind, and they still are on their grind. And I just feel like it just pushes me to, want to do more for myself and handle my business and get on my grind, because, some of them are older than me, most of them, but, we're all in our 20s and we're all trying to make it and get somewhere. So I just feel like that was the big thing. As far as people on the show, I would have to say, in a way, I don't really know who became my least favorite, because not everybody, but certain people had certain things that I was just like, that's the decision you're gonna make. Did you really think that through? I think.
Okay, put it like this: if you had to kick somebody off the show, who would it be? Like, who would it be? I know who would be in my mind.
If I had to kick somebody off the show, oh jeez, I don't know.
I do. Okay, well, who was your favorite? Who did you resonate with the most? Or, like, whose story did you like the most or seen the most? Like, I feel like they all grew in a sense, but
I would say maybe one of my favorites would have to be Amanda. I like Amanda. She was one of my favorites. Just because I'm pretty laid back, I'm pretty chill. I won't say much unless like you do something that's gonna piss me off or I feel like isn't right. Otherwise, I just chill. I just mind my business. So I would say Amanda was one of my favorites, and maybe even Brianna, even though she's kind of stuck in her little situations. I did love Brie because no matter what, she just gave off like this great vibe. Honestly, if I had to kick somebody off this show,
I think we're on the same page. But go ahead, I'm gonna see who you gonna say.
I feel like it's out of two people for me.
I think it's the couple,
and it would just have to be. It would have to be like.
Come on,
Gerald and Cheryl.
I knew it.
I just felt like for a long-standing friendship, and I understand that not all friendships are gonna last. Trust, I understand that, but I felt like as far as that whole big situation came about and how it blew up, it was just like I feel like the conversation should have only been really between the guys. To be honest, the girlfriend shouldn't have gotten involved because it blew up their friendship and them getting to know each other because of what the guys had going on. And I feel like yes, I'm your girlfriend, I'll support you, but you're grown. You know how to handle yourself. There's no reason why I should need to step in and step towards a man. I shouldn't need to do that. Like, you can handle yourself. Now, if the issue spills over into me, me personally, like me individually, not me connected to you as your significant other, but just me, then I'll say something. But if it's not spilling over to me, you can handle that. That's on you. Like, it blew up into something and everybody had their own opinions instead of just telling the truth. Like, Cheryl knew something that...
Because Gerald wanted to tell one side of the story. But we're gonna get into this.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go. My favorites. Oh, why did I love the show? I feel like it showcased true, authentic friendships. Like, I could resonate with them because they were around our age. They were bosses. They were minorities, blacks, doing the damn thing in LA, in their home city, wanting to give back. And it was very, very different from other reality shows where it's scripted storylines. Everybody want to fight, this and that and the third. No, this was refreshing. They were actually friends for a very long time before the show even came on. And yeah. And it's the Issa Rae production. Like, I love Issa Rae. Like, hello?
Wouldn't have been good.
Hello. It's an Issa Rae production. But yeah, love the show. Pray and hope that a season 2 comes out.
Yes.
And Issa needs to come. Sweet Life Houston, you know. Hello. We're here. Who was my favorite? My favorite would have to be Bree. Bree or Tylen. Bree was unapologetically herself. She was going to tell you how it was. She didn't care. She wore her heart on her sleeve. Always showed her emotions. And, you know, she didn't try to sugarcoat or back down for nobody. She's going to tell you how it is. If she hurt your feelings, you know, whatever. She was herself. And I love Ty because she was just a boss to me. Like, every time you look up, she was throwing the event. It was just...
Even her birthday gathering.
Right.
Hello. Giving all the time. The legacy table. Like, I loved it all. And I also feel like Tylen also didn't try to sugarcoat or back down for anybody. And she was going to ride for her friends and her man, okay? She didn't care who you was. She was going to ride for them. Don't play with Jalen and don't play with her friends. She was going to ride for Jalen, okay? And, yeah, who was my least favorite? I think everybody here probably has the same least favorite, maybe. Don't get me wrong. I like them, you know? They were cool. It would have to be Cheryl and Gerald. I'm just sorry, but their little storyline wasn't giving. Okay, yeah, y'all been together since high school, okay. But, like, I really wish that they were able to showcase more of
what they did.
What they had going on outside of each other. Like, Cheryl, you have your own fashion company. Gerald is working with Will Smith. He has his own podcast. Like, I really wish that they were able to showcase more of themselves. But that were kind of my least favorite because of that situation that blew up that could have been avoided if Gerald would have taken control of the situation then and there, instead of running and going to tell Cheryl one side of the story and not the whole truth.
And even as a side note, I feel like all he ever got to do, and maybe there could have been something in the contract where he couldn't have shown his work, but I wish that in a better light his podcast could have been seen, because in the one moment it was seen, there was a big blown up issue.
Yeah.
And it was like everything else, literally everything pertaining to them basically revolved around that issue. Even Cheryl's photo shoot. They were having a disagreement at the photo shoot between Tylen and Gerald, and it was just like, which Tylen was wrong for that because she could have just waited to have that conversation with Gerald. But like, it just seemed like everything that portrayed what they do professionally was either about
situation
the issue
or them moving in with each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like, okay, but what about you guys separately? Because everybody else, even though they were in relationships, except for Bree and Jordan, everybody else and PJ, it was like everybody else was still being able to showcase what they did as an entrepreneur, as a boss, as a young individual. Whereas them, it was like their whole storyline revolved around their relationship and them moving in and the podcast issue. And it was like, but can we see what you do?
Exactly. Like, we only got to see a small part of what they did, and I didn't like that, so that's why. Kiana?
I like the show because it showed a lot of, like, black excellence, y'all. Like, they business owners, they doing the damn thing at 20, however, everybody different age. But, I like what they do. The show, issarae, okay, it's in LA, live, you know what I'm saying? And it was just great. Like, it just showed a lot of things that a lot of people are trying to get to, trying to reach their goals, and just to see a lot of black girls and black females and males do what they envision to do, you're just motivated. It was just very motivating to watch, besides the drama and all that. But it was still just amazing just to see Mexico. Like, Ty, please invite me. I would love to go. Please invite me. That was, and then besides PJ bringing a little card to you,
we're gonna get
to that. But yeah, and then I would have to say my favorite, Bree, hands down. Only because I can relate to Bree. Struggling trying to see where you fit, and even though you're not doing what they do, but to see that you got like a plan and trying to make it, I could agree with that. My least, they said it, Gerald and Cheryl. Like, it was just, we understand y'all in love. We love black love, okay? But show your fashion, show your podcast, show Will Smith, Lord. Like, you working with Will Smith. I would have been broadcasting that, like, or what you do for him, or like, what are you doing? Like, I would have wanted to see that. But we love that y'all are together.
Instead of talking about y'all relationship in the way.
And I felt like everybody was pushing, like, they've been together since high school, but he was like, everybody was pushing, like, they couldn't even decide if he couldn't even decide if he wanted to move in with her, yet alone them getting married.
Yeah, like, and it was like, they've been together since high school.
Why is the conversation?
Oh, man, like, they still young.
They're still young.
Give them time. Not everybody have everything figured out.
Hello?
Like, let them focus on what they focusing on at this moment.
Yeah. You want to introduce the next?
Yeah. So, I guess the next question we would ask. The next question we would ask is, did your favorite cast member change throughout the season?
Yes, you did. I'm gonna go.
No, did you have a favorite at the beginning when you first
and
did it change after?
No, my favorite was still the same. Bree was still my favorite. I did. Oh, and Amanda. Them two were my number 2 favorite. I think I just love seeing Todd do what she do. Like, her event planning was beyond. Mm-hmm. Like, just to take an idea of somebody and put it to play like that, for your friends, even for yourself, that was really key. But I like Amanda, and because Amanda really, she wasn't scared, show that she came from nothing, you know what I'm saying? And just to be how big she was.
Like, she was gonna rep Howard.
Okay, she was gonna rep Howard. She was
gonna
rep Compton, and you know what I'm saying? She was gonna rep where she was from. And then Bree was just so
Bree
sweet.
Was Bree.
She was just so cute. Bree was just unapologetic. Just her.
She was Bree.
Despite PJ, Jordan. Bree was Bree.
Exactly.
Okay, Bree was still Bree at the end. I really hope she stayed with that dude that she met at the end, though, because he was actually kind of
they're no longer together.
Oh my!
But anywho, yeah, my favorite didn't change at all. I did start to like Amanda more, especially after seeing more of her after where did they go? Malibu? Mm-hmm. Malibu situation. I was low-key feeling some type of way towards her, Bree, and Becky. I didn't really like how they were ganging up on Miami. Right. Like, y'all were wrong with the wrong person.
Okay.
But anywho, Amanda, she was doing the damn thing too. Boss. Bree was Bree, okay? We're just going to say that. Bree was Bree. She wore her heart on her sleeve. She showed her emotion. She didn't care. And Tyler was just a boss all the way around. The ghost of events. Crying. We okay. It's okay.
It's okay.
You was just showing your emotions, but come over here. We don't gotta cry at every situation. Truly a Pisces.
Mine stayed. I think mine stayed the same. I don't think I ever really changed favorites. Like it just stayed the same. Like I like Todd too, except for like the whole crying part. But I can't be mad at her about that because I'm an emotional person too, and I'm not a Pisces. But like I get where she's coming from, just because when you're passionate about people that are important to you or things that are important to you, most times you don't cry because you're sad. You cry because you're pissed off. And you don't know any other way. When you're not a fighter, you don't show your anger and like turning red and ready to fight and ready to take off your earrings. You show your emotions by crying because you're pissed off. And you would hope that people will respect what it is that you're doing and how you care about them and how you just want to see them happy and grow and all of that. So really like Amanda and Ty, and then of course Bree. And I really like that Bree like eventually like, even though she didn't know what she wanted to do, she started somewhere. So she knew she liked skincare stuff. So she even used the opportunity when they were in Mexico to take pictures and do stuff like that. And for her to even have such great friends to allow her to do that, and be like, of course you could use me as a model, stuff like that, And even for Tyler to let her do that, on her trip, that was for her birthday. So those are my 3 favorites, and they just stayed the same. Honestly.
Yeah. I feel like once my mind was made up,
yeah.
Okay, so we mentioned PJ a little bit. We mentioned Becky a little bit.
McLaren.
We're gonna talk about this McLaren. Him inviting this girl on Amanda's birthday trip to Malibu, Miss Miami. Justice for Miami, like
justice for the girl.
Justice for the girl, please. Who do y'all feel like was wrong in the situation? Like all around,
we all got the same answer.
Yeah. Or like who went about it the wrong way as well? Like we all know PJ was wrong for inviting her and doing all that, but who else was wrong for how they responded?
I think I just feel that we know PJ is wrong because you're doing it at somebody else's event,
Yeah.
But I feel if he would have just told Amanda. Being that, Amanda is nice or whatever, I mean, if she really did, it would have been, like, a better thing. Like, the McLaren, I mean, I would have thought it was kind of like you kind of show out, but then, as for me, I mean, you pulling up in the McLaren, if anything, I probably would have asked to ride it or ride in to take some pictures on it.
You have to think about, even though Malibu isn't that too far from LA, they didn't remember what PJ car looked like?
Oh, yeah,
I would want him to get a rental to make sure he gets there safe.
I really just didn't like how Becky, Bree, and like all of them treated her. Like, I mean, I understand that she's a new person at your event, and yeah, he was wrong for bringing her, but you don't want to welcome somebody like that in like around y'all friend group, because then it's like you really sitting on edge, like you don't want to talk to nobody, don't want to really like. She wasn't even really, like, trying to bond with them or anything because of how they were treating her. And that, who would want to stay if that's going to happen throughout the whole trip? Because I know I wouldn't have, but I felt like they should have at least treated her better. But I can understand where Amanda was coming from because it's her birthday event. Don't nobody want to have all that. Like, plus, they had already did the little safe thing, take all the negative vibes and stuff like that. So, just to have that, but... I think PJ next time just tell Amanda talk. She your friend. Just tell her, talk to her about it.
I feel like honestly, I feel the same way. Like you could have just said something. Like it's the same thing as like I just personally go by and I feel like I don't like to invite people to someone else's things
that I was invited
to. That person know or that I was invited to. Like now, if I was strictly invited. And they didn't say like, hey, if you want to bring this person or if you want to bring an extra person with you, go ahead. Then I'm not gonna invite somebody. But like I feel like that's a conversation you have to have with someone. Be like, hey, is it okay if I bring this additional person with me? Because on top of that, not just the fact that they don't know who she is, but everybody paid their part.
True.
And she didn't pay a part. You can't play with people's money now. You cannot play with people's money. And she basically came in for free.
McLaren.
But I don't agree with there was like deeper situations. Like Becky should have communicated how much she really liked him. Because I'm not saying PJ didn't know, but he literally was like, he didn't know. So even if he did know, she should have communicated that better. He should have been
like catty games.
Yeah, he should have been better honest with Miami about what he had going on with Becky. And then he should have let Amanda know that, hey, is it okay if I bring a guest with me? It's a female. You need to be specific. And then Becky and Bree and all of them, they shouldn't have treated her like that, especially, and they shouldn't have treated Thailand like that, because all she said to Miami was, I'm just letting you know, this is my best friend, Trip. We not here on no petty stuff.
And
she
knew her.
Yeah, she knew her. So she was like, just letting her know, like, hey, we on good vibes, nothing like that. So for y'all to jump into something different showed her, like, well, are y'all really on good vibes? Because Thailand came to her with good energy and just talking to her, and y'all came with her treating her crazy, all because PJ brought her. Like, you should have took all that energy to him,
PJ,
not her, because you don't know her, and she didn't even know the full situation either.
She just know what he told them.
Yeah, exactly. You should have came to him with that energy, and you should have came to her like, hey, it's all good. We're gonna make sure you still have a good time. My name is so, like. You should have came at her with a different energy, because even if you felt some type of way about PJ, again, take that energy to him, not her.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel the same way. PJ, you could have communicated to Amanda way better. I feel like the whole situation could have been avoided somehow in a way, or it would have been not that much drama around it. Becky, Bree, and Amanda, y'all were wrong for how y'all reacted to Miami. And then how did y'all expect her to welcome y'all with open arms when y'all was sitting up here looking at her crazy, saying slick stuff? Like,
saying
y'all
that she gonna be staying here.
Right. Like the energy you giving her, she gonna give
back.
Why would she give good energy to you?
I understood why she reacted the way that she did. Like, I'm not about to sit up here and let nobody play in my face. Okay. No. And even when she was trying to, like, communicate with them or, brush the situation under the rug and try to have a good time for Amanda, y'all were still on this catty game, this mean girl type energy. So, how did y'all expect her to react the way that she did? Right. Moving on. Child. This love square that was going on, swapping the friends, dating in the friend group, which y'all please don't. It's not gonna work.
We're just gonna throw in there too. We're gonna throw in there too our conversation of why dating within friend groups don't work.
Okay,
just so y'all know what's
so we're about to get into this. So you had Bree and Jordan, you had Becky and PJ. You also had Becky and Jordan. Becky and Bree are best friends.
Right.
PJ and Jordan are best friends. Jordan and Bree had a little.
They liked each other.
They had a little fling going
on.
Before
them, it was Becky and Jordan.
You had Becky and Jordan, which they. He went down under, and things happened. He tried to make it seem like they, he put the stick in the box, but it didn't happen. So you have them.
He ate the cookie.
There you go. He ate the cookie.
Yeah.
Y'all know what we said.
Yeah. Right. So we have this whole situation go out through the whole season. Really. Well, it was really mainly Becky and PJ. Their situation went throughout the whole season. You did have Bree and Jordan, who I was low key rooting for them.
Me too.
Low key, because he was like, I love Bree. Like he, wanted it to work, but I feel like their communication wasn't ideal. they wanted two different things, and he was also scared to love and accept love and fully commit to Bree. And then he would go back. Low-key, Jordan talked too much too, because you was always saying stuff. Somehow it was going back to Bree.
Right.
Jalen, you pillow talk too much too.
That's something that if Jordan felt some type of way about it, he shouldn't have even had. First of all, and I feel like that's a problem too. When you date within friend groups, you tend to confide in those same friends that you shouldn't. You should just talk to that person.
Exactly.
Because that whole conversation that Jordan had, and he could not have meant it that way, but the way it came off was that he wouldn't date anyone that doesn't have anything going for themselves. And because at the time she, was just working and she wasn't like, doing business or anything like that, it made it seem like she doesn't have anything going for herself. And then for you, Jalen, to go back and tell Tylin, knowing Tylin and Bree are friends, and she's going to tell her, because why wouldn't you tell your friend something that a dude that you like said? Like, but it was just like that conversation should have been something Jordan should have had with Bree. Because if you felt that way about her, you could have had that conversation with her a long time ago, and y'all could have went on y'all separate ways instead of it ending up the way it did, with like tension and everything.
That's why dating in a friend group will never work. Because I can't.
Don't do it.
It's ghetto.
Too much.
0 out of 10. Would not recommend
at all.
Because if y'all dating within the friend group and your relationship isn't going how it needs to go, or there's drama in your relationship, the drama is going to carry into the friend group. Like, because y'all share the same friends, word is going to spread around quick.
And that's what
as
y'all
we have
confide
seen.
in when problems come. And if y'all confide in talking about y'all problems, then everybody
gonna know your business.
And then it's like,
and everybody gonna be taking sides.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what happened.
The whole thing is literally you're in one friend group, like, so at some point everybody's gonna take sides, and that's
what happened. The girls gonna take the girls' side, and the
guys
boys gonna take the boys' side, because they gonna try to see, well,
and that's how it was with that situation. Yeah. Nobody wanted to tell Jordan that he was wrong, because I guess they felt like he was head honcho or whatever. And when on the other hand, the girls, okay, they won't tell you, girl, you was wrong for that, or you could have went about this a different way. Whereas with Jordan, they was like, oh,
nobody wants to step on his toe.
Right. With your friends.
He just bought us these chains. I just got my chain. I can't tell Jordan how he... No.
That really blew me.
No.
Like, if y'all still supposed to be friends regardless of you being a part of the wood or whatever, like... I still should be able to tell you about yourself. I should be able to tell you, look, you ain't handling that in the best situation. Like, for Jordan, mama to have to be the one to tell him he was wrong. Right. Like, and y'all supposed to be friends. Y'all supposed to be cool down.
Jordan mama dropped the jeans every time. She was going to get him straight. Every time.
It shouldn't even took that, because his mama not going to always be able to drop gems. He going to need somebody else to tell him, like, hey, man, you was wrong. And if y'all supposed to be his guys... Y'all should be able to tell him, like, hey, man,
hold him
handle that in the best situation,
For all the dudes out there, please be honest with your friends. Let them know what they doing.
Keep it a buck. Hello?
Like, y'all supposed to be ride or die and tell them if they wrong. Tell them they ain't doing it right.
Exactly.
Let them know when they need to stop.
But yes, I was rooting for them. And at the end of the last episode, we saw them go on dates. Bree went on a date with Pateri. He was a nice guy. I didn't like the guy who she went on the date with the first time. Yeah. I was like, no. Please do not. But yeah, I feel like her date with Pateri was very, very good. On the other hand, with Jordan, low-key, she somehow, although she had something going for herself, Bree does too, she somehow reminded me of Bree in a way. And you peeped how when Bree pulled up with Pateri for the block party. Jordan goes and calls old girl and tell her to pull up, I feel like he felt some type of way. I most definitely did.
I think he
like
got a little jealous.
Yeah. He saw that she,
But what are you getting jealous for when you supposedly love her? But okay, Jordan, you can't commit,
can't communicate.
You can't communicate. Like how you gonna get like the scene when they was heckling nude on at the table and they was being all lovey dovey and then he told her to back off.
Stop.
Right, but you the one.
I think we should.
We need to stop. But you the one over here all in her ear and got all.
You the one who initiated it.
Oh, okay.
He was too hot and cold for me.
Right.
Like he was playing with her emotions.
Please pick one.
Too much.
He was straddling the fence.
Okay, and it didn't need to be straddled.
You gonna be on this side,
or you gonna be on that one.
And you need to choose.
Okay,
and once you choose wisely. Because once you choose, you stand where you at.
Because you straddled. Now she with somebody else that know what they want. Now you jealous.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Child, let's get into this. PJ and Becky, child.
Oh Lord.
Child. It was.
I was not rooting for them.
I wasn't. I really wanted more for Becky.
Yes.
And I wanted more for PJ. I felt like the situation started off with them not telling the whole truth anyway. Because PJ had to find out through Jordan that Becky and Jordan had something going on. When Becky, you're the one who's trying to date him or whatever, get into something serious, you should have, been upfront and tell him, hey, me and Jordan did have something going on. It wasn't serious. Or tell him the full details. Like, we're grown.
Right.
He's moved on. He's trying to get with Bree. Like, come on now.
Yeah, I just feel like, and honestly, I feel like PJ really wasn't as into Becky as she was into
you could
him.
see it.
And then I feel like
Stevie
when
Wonder could see
Stevie
Wonder
could
see
like
that.
And then when Jordan Jordan told him about the fact that him and Becky kind of did something, I feel like that lessened his feelings of liking her on top. Except for the fact that Jordan could have just told him the truth. He insinuated the whole time that they had
actual sex
intercourse. But that wasn't the case. And it was like, you could have just been clear. Y'all are grown. You could have said what it was. But instead you didn't do that. But I just definitely feel like Becky was way more into him than he was into her. And it just boiled down. Like, she kind of let him get to her, even with the whole Miami situation.
Yeah.
And it was like, if you really were done with him, or you were, you didn't want to be bothered with him, he wouldn't have been sleeping in your bed when Miami put him out.
Exactly.
That night. He would not have been sleeping in your bed.
Exactly.
If you were done with him. Like, it was just like, she really let him get the best of her, and she should have just realized that, you know what, he's not really into me like I am into him, and there's no need for me to keep forcing it, and she should have just backed off, and she should have just moved on, because it wasn't...
She allowed her to play with her feelings, especially during the Mexico trip as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. PJ didn't know when were the right time to say things or do things. Like, you telling this girl, oh yeah, we should end this on this yacht while y'all are celebrating. You could have waited till y'all got back to the villa to do that, or you could have did it that night before, because you were feeling some type of way after that conversation where she did say a little bit too much. You could have told her about that right there and then.
Right.
But you decided to wait days on end where y'all still sitting up here playing with each other's feelings. You're playing with her feelings, really. And then you tell her, yeah, we shouldn't do this anymore. And she took it good. Can you not read between the lines?
Then you dap your dudes up talking about, I'm free. I'm a free man.
You were never shackled down.
Okay. Exactly. You were never tied to her. Y'all were never in an actual relationship. And on top of that, obviously y'all were two different people because the way she was speaking about what she liked at the table, yes, I agree. She was doing too much.
Yeah.
She was giving away too much to people that aren't trying to see her fullness and glory.
Somebody already did it at the table,
but like, you shouldn't have done that. And I feel like he's more of a private person. Conversations that he has, he'll probably have them in person. And he was really, like, out of his element with her doing that. And you could tell, like, he should have pulled her over then and been like, hey, listen, I don't know, what you're used to doing or how you're used to communicating with people, but this is not what I do, anything that has to do with a girl that I'm interested in or a girl that I want. I don't want you, having to put yourself out there. I like to keep my stuff private, but he didn't do that. And then he was like, let me just shut things down while we stuck on a boat with everybody else in the middle of the ocean. And then they'll talk about I'm a free man. You were never tied down to her. You could have left at any moment.
So she allowed him to continue to play with her feelings, and he knew that he could continue to take instead of give and take, give and take, So
I just feel like neither one of them was just honest with each other.
They was not.
It just caused more problems. Yeah. Whereas if they were just honest from the beginning, y'all would have been
good. Effectively communicated.
Yeah, y'all would have been fine.
Okay, the next thing is,
girl,
this about the high school lovebirds. How long is too long to make a big step or a big move with your significant other?
Okay, so
it's like for them it was moving in.
Right.
In my opinion, I ain't shacking it. I'm sorry. I'm not shacking up with you. If we're not at least engaged, I'm fine with us having our two separate places, because once you allow yourself to allow them to move, y'all move in together.
You allow them to get
comfortable with the position. You start playing fiance wife roles in a girlfriend position.
Right. Ooh. Say that again. For the people that didn't hear that in the back.
Let me say this again. You allow yourself to get comfortable. Mm-hmm. They get comfortable with, okay, we moved in. That's cool. That's fine. And you start playing fiance wife roles in a girlfriend position.
That's a word.
And I honestly, I feel like the whole thing of, I need to learn how you are. We need to live together. No, I don't. When you love someone that much anyways, you'll adjust to who they are, because I'm not saying you're not going to spend some time with that individual. If you're spending the night, you're going to learn a little bit. That's why they say get to know someone in every season. You don't have to
say it again.
You need to learn someone in every
season, not just one. Not the
you don't have to live with them to learn that. Because at the end of the day, when you get married too, you have to think about the fact, if we're living together in this one spot, what if we want to get a house?
Right.
I personally feel like you live here, I live in my place. Whenever you're ready to put the ring on my finger and make me your wife, then we can talk and have the discussion about whether we're going to move to my place, your place, or move into something bigger together. But it shouldn't be where we have to live together just for you to know whether you should marry me or want to be with me for the rest of your life. You don't need that. You don't make them decisions when you don't think that way when y'all just be walking around having babies with people. You don't think about the details then, but now
y'all sure don't say no. Now
you want to think about the details when it comes to spending the rest of your life with somebody. You want to live with them. Okay. You want to do this, do that. You wouldn't think about that when you was having a baby.
Okay.
When you was inside the box.
Y'all wasn't trying to get to know each other so much when we was laying there like this. When we started talking about commitment and all that stuff,
now you want the details.
Hold on.
Now you want the details.
No, I think we should.
I don't think we know each other like that. But you didn't know me like that when you was
trying to commit.
Okay.
That's why y'all need to understand and get to know people in every season who you dating with. Their dating time, their talking time, Y'all need to talk about some stuff. That's why communication is very important.
And also, I feel like there's not really a time limit that you can put on a situation like that. When a man knows, or when you know, like, okay, this is the person I want to be with. You know.
And men know.
You know. They
know.
know. It don't take 7 years.
Listen.
Because I know.
Listen.
I'm going to sit down.
And also, even though this has nothing to do with their situation, I'm also personally not going to have your kid first for you to realize that you want to be with me for the rest of your life. I shouldn't have to birth something out of me for you to realize that you want to spend her. I shouldn't be walking around swole with a big stomach, chunky face, swollen feet for you to realize that you want to spend the rest of your life with me. You should have realized that way before then. Right. If you don't, that's fine. Move on. Let me be free.
I feel like if we're dating and after, like, okay, their situation, first off, yes, they were together for 8 years. Most of the time was them in high school. Right. You have to realize, high school, y'all, we were still kids. Young. They're young. Like, I feel like they're truly now learning each other. So I would really say
they've only been together
for 4 years. They're good. They're good. I feel like after that 4th, 5th year, you ain't talking about me making me your wife. What are we doing? What are we doing?
That's the big question.
What are we doing? Because you're not about to continue to waste my time.
And if y'all haven't noticed, or if nobody, whether it be a celebrity or in the real world, has shown y'all that men know what they want. They know what they want.
Okay.
Prime example.
We can
prime example. Courtney and Travis Barker. Baby, they haven't been together for a year.
They only been together for 10 months, and he knew that she was the one.
But she been with Scott for God knows how long, having baby after baby after baby.
Oh, who else? Cassie.
Oh yeah, after she left Diddy.
10 years. She was with dude for 1 year, having his baby, and they got married in a year.
But
they know what they want.
People, yes, men know what they want.
They know what they want.
But
they just trying to see how far you gonna let them go,
right?
And continue to play with your emotions.
And that's why you need to let them know what you want
up front. Hello.
Because if you don't let them know, then they just gonna continue to play with you. They're gonna continue to play with your feelings, and that's not, ladies. That's not what y'all want. No. Y'all need to let these young men know, because some of them are acting like young men, not an actual man.
Acting like a boy.
Okay, and you're better than that. You're worth more. Know your worth. Know your worth. Okay, know your worth. You're worth more than that. Just
we be out here dealing with young males instead of grown men.
Okay, you're worth more than.
But be older than you.
Okay. Ooh. I'm gonna sit.
Okay.
We're gonna get back on topic because we didn't get y'all more than what we were supposed to get y'all, but that's okay.
We just trying to make sure y'all successful in y'all love life, even in just the real world period.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah.
Shout out to Brittany. I'm just gonna say it again. Shout out to Brittany.
Yes. To subtopic that we're going to talk about Amanda and Rob. And how would you feel about dating someone in a less flexible field than you?
You know what? Rob, let me tell y'all something. I love Amanda and Rob's relationship. Because Rob is humble enough to know that he ain't like her. I know you lying. Okay, so he's humble enough to know that he don't make money like her, but he's humble enough to know that he is able to take care of her. Mm-hmm. That's what you need. You need a man that's gonna be able to take care of you. Yeah, they may not be able to make the most money. Right. You don't know what he got.
More money.
Right. You don't know what he got planned even after just teaching, and he loves what he does, and I feel like that's all that matters. But you can tell one thing, that she loves him. He loves her, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters. So.
True that. Personally, having someone in a less flexible field as you, I feel like my significant other would have to figure. Shh, lady, damn, loud. Close that door. God damn. I don't want to hear your conversation downstairs.
I'm gonna say yeah, but be going on. Somebody.
Okay, back to where I was. I feel like my significant other would have to accept that the field that I'm going to be in isn't that flexible, baby. The sports industry isn't that flexible. There'll be times where I have to work holidays, weekends, evenings. As a future sports agent, attorney,
Yeah, I hear that.
the bag is calling. Like, well, the bag is calling. Like, but to put myself in Amanda's situation, yes, she's able to. Yes, she works PR, so her schedule is more flexible than Rob's, where he's a teacher. I feel like you have to understand, like, okay, this is their passion. This is something that they're doing. If you truly love that person and want to be with that person, you would do anything. I mean, anything to make sure that your relationship sustains. Y'all are able to still spend quality time with each other, and you would also support them and have someone that supports you in your dreams. You have to understand, yes, I would like to be your priority, but I would like to be your second priority.
Right.
Make yourself your first priority in your dreams and your aspirations, and I'll be there to support you and ensure that you're on that right track. So I feel like if you're able to understand that their schedule isn't flexible, you're willing to make it work, it's going to work. Like, prime example, Amanda and Rob.
Okay, so yeah, they're successful together.
Exactly.
And that's what you want, to be successful together. You want to be able to make sure that y'all are taking care of each other. And that she, that she's putting herself first, you putting yourself first, and then when y'all come together, it's like y'all, are doing the damn
and make
thing.
sure you don't lose yourself within the relationship. That's the main point.
And also, I feel like, too, like, even say if, down the line they get married, I feel like, when it comes to roles like that, you have to also reassure your partner that, hey, listen, I'm not downplaying you or what you can do in this relationship just because I may make more. Because the thing is, just because someone may make less doesn't mean that they're any less worthy of doing the whatever roles you guys want to have set in your household. So if Rob is still good at, say if he's good at the finance stuff and making sure the bills get paid, or these particular bills, just because he makes less doesn't mean he can't still handle those same duties. Don't diminish your partner because they don't make what you make. Because at the end of the day, if you really love them, that won't even matter. It won't even be about that, because you guys will be able to work through that and be able to have conversations if something comes up or changes. Because who knows? He may not be a teacher forever. He may find something in an entrepreneurial position that he may like, and he may pick that up and take off with it. But you can't diminish someone because they make less money than you, when at the end of the day, if you love that person for them, what they make doesn't matter. Like, you'll work through that. You'll figure it out.
As long as they have
a
plan.
That's it.
Right. That's
as long as they have a plan and they're working towards it and make sure they have everything for it and putting things together, and you're helping them and supporting them.
And if you see that plan coming to pass, then you know they're actually doing some work. Now, if they just telling you all these plans and ain't nothing
they telling you
they telling you the sweet nothings, and they giving you potential. You don't always want to date potential. Because potential don't always mean they're going to be successful. Just because they're showing you potential does not mean it's going to be successful. You have to see someone that not only will have potential, but is actually being productive in their plan. And actually that plan coming to pass. Like, it's in the works. You can see it.
And that's why.
Not they just telling you, you ain't seeing nothing coming to fruition. You need to see
be fruitful,
right?
And multiply.
Oh,
word, fruitful. And multiply. Not just for kids. Okay.
Points.
Okay, because you gotta be able to pay for them children. You gonna fruitful and multiply, baby. Because they ain't dingy.
Kids ain't to eat, baby. So, we talked briefly about this situation earlier.
Don't get into the details.
Jordan versus Jalen. and this damn privilege word. How this privilege just blew up this whole situation that caused this big blow up within the friend group. So, Lace, if you haven't watched the episode or you need a refresher, we're gonna get it. Gerald, Cheryl's boyfriend, because that's how they were portrayed as on the show, has his own podcast. So he brought the guys along. He wanted them to talk about mental health and how they are in their positions now, this and that, whatever. So they were exchanging, talking about their success stories, where they are in their career or where they want to be. And of course, everybody knows Jordan has this big clothing brand called Hypeland. Big ass, well-known, international clothing brand. Well, Jalen told him that he was, somehow in a way privileged with his situation because he had his mother who financially helped him get the business up and running. And she's also his CFO, so she ensures that the money continues to flow in as well. Well, Jordan took it as if Jalen told him, you got a silver spoon in your mouth and you never had to work hard for anything. It just got handed to you. And I can see in a sense how that word can get tricky, baby. So, in the end, it was a whole blow up. They had a whole blowing up situation. They went their separate ways. Jalen told Tylen what happened. Gerald told Cheryl what happened from his perspective, or this one point to make Jordan look good. Blew up. Tylen went to confront Gerald at Cheryl's photo shoot. That rubbed her the wrong way because there was a time and place, or really it just could have had been a conversation between after, or that was just a conversation for Gerald and Jalen to have. Right. And also, if you saw Jordan and Jalen, they had their own conversation and they squashed it.
Right. While the conversation was still going on between Tylen, Cheryl, and Gerald.
Exactly.
Jalen and Jordan had talked about it and squashed it at that point.
And this led on to them at PJ's block party. After the block party, they wanted to get into it. Everybody else who was not there
was putting
their input into it.
It's because Ty invited everybody to be around while they talk about it when it should have just been them.
Exactly.
It really shouldn't have happened there, honestly.
Honestly, that was not the time nor the place.
And honestly, your boyfriend and Jordan had a conversation. It was their beef. It was their conversation. If they had a conversation, then y'all should just moved on.
Exactly.
Honestly, I feel like just from the beginning of the word even being thrown out there, I feel like, because the thing is too, Jordan's mom also checked him about it and was like, you took it the wrong way. She was like, we didn't have to struggle. I have always lived in the same house. I have been fortunate enough to help you. So yes, you do have a privilege, which is like, he took it in a way as if Jalen was saying he never worked hard for anything a day in his life. That's not what he was saying. All he was saying was you've had the privilege of someone being able to financially assist you, which that happens with a lot of people. You need money to make money. Mm-hmm. And most times people are privileged to have family that is afforded to help them financially get whatever they're doing off the ground, whereas others, you have to find other things or work full-time jobs to get money aside just to do what it is that you want to do in an entrepreneur position. So I feel like he took the word and ran with it in a different manner than what Jalen meant by it. And then for it to explode like that and you to be ready to fight and all of that was a little bit much, because it was like, at the end of the day, even if you didn't like the word usage or privilege, understand that you did have someone that was able to financially support you. Whether he would have said it a different way, it meant the same thing. you were able to have help. There's nothing wrong with that. Just understand that most people don't have that help. Most people do not have that help. They have to get it on their own. They have to pay for it on their own. They have to figure out other ways to get it. And even some people who could be afforded the opportunity, sometimes people don't even want to do it for them. So they still have to do it on their own.
To pay it back.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you might be privileged. Yeah, that's might what you be able to see, but I still gotta pay it back. This ain't free. This is just a loan. and I gotta pay the thing back.
Yeah. I feel like Gerald, this was your podcast, this was your platform, you invited them. Yes, y'all were in Jordan's house. Okay, but you could have, this was your thing. You could have been like, okay, y'all, hold up. You could have diffused the situation right then and there, and it could have been avoided for it to not go into the whole friend group. But okay, hold on, y'all. Let's sit down and talk about this. Jordan, you gonna tell your side and how you feel. Jalen, tell your side how you feel, and we're gonna find the common ground right here.
And remove everybody else. Like once you cut it off at that point, you should tell everybody else, all right, y'all can just head out. We just gonna end it here, to de-escalate the situation. Mm-hmm. And you could have, if they felt comfortable and are calm enough, you could have pulled them both to the I hey, look, I don't like how this ended. We were supposed to be talking about something, to help bring people's, positivity up and all of that. Let's just squash this here. Let's talk about it so that way we can see where the misunderstanding came in. Instead, you let everybody leave up, and y'all was scared to step on Jordan's toes.
He was scared to step on his toes. He had just got his chain.
It was just too much. It was like the wood was included in that when it's like at the end of the day, y'all supposed to be friends. The wood isn't included in this. Right. So y'all should have been able to have a conversation as friends, and you should have been able to squash it because it was on your platform that represents you. Because he just kept saying, I ended it. No, you ended the podcast. You stopped the budget, but you didn't end the situation. You didn't end the conversation. And I feel like instead, you just let Jordan walk out the door being big mad when y'all could have handled it.
I feel like he just didn't want to step on his toe, but also because they're grown men, he really didn't want to put his input in there because y'all are grown men. But y'all should be able to squash it as friends. But as friends, you should be able to hold your friend accountable. Let him know. That's why I say you need, as boys, let your people. I was saying. I know when we screw up. She got. Yes. Okay. Hi. Okay. No. What did I say? Yeah, they're grown men. But I still, like we were saying, we still feel like you should have just, diffused the situation between your friends because y'all are friends. Like, make sure you holding your people
if you can't hold your friends accountable, then, are y'all even really friends?
You just gonna let them go out there and just jump off the cliff?
Hey, something like that's terrible.
I just feel like it's a lot of wrongs in that situation when you watch it. For the people who watched it and for the people who's going, just examine. There's so many things going from Ty. I just feel like Ty shouldn't have did it in front of everybody. Mm-hmm. That should have been between them. I feel like Gerald should have told the whole story to Cheryl, not just try to make Jordan look good. You should have told everything. And then I feel like Jordan shouldn't just took it that way. Just let him explain how he was saying it. And then it probably would have been a better situation, but hey, because
it's like Jordan doesn't know how to control his emotions. He blows up, and then
he wants to apologize.
He wants to apologize after he has gone rain and told his mama the situation, and she checks him.
Right, that's what she did.
Right, because you should be able to check yourself. Once you get to a certain point, you should be able to check yourself and realize, you know what, I was out of pocket for this. Before you even go and tell anybody. You should be able to check yourself and be like, I handled that wrong. Let me correct myself. Because you're not going to always be able to run to somebody to tell them, for them to check you, for you to realize you were wrong. You should get to a point in your life where you're able to check yourself and be like, you know what, I messed up. Let me back down. And even I feel like from jump, even though Jalen told Tylynn, I feel like she took it from a standpoint of,
They were ganging up on
because she was friends with Gerald. She felt like because they've been friends for so long, she felt like he should have stuck up for Jalen. But at the end of the day, Jalen's a grown man, and she should have been like, if anything, she should have told him, you know what, you're grown. Handle that situation however you see fit. But I'm going to remove myself from it, or I won't even put myself in it because of the fact that, yes, we're friends, but, you guys are getting to know each other yourself, and that's a conversation you should have had. She took it and stepped in it as a friend with her friendship with Gerald, when at the end of the day, she should have saw that was an issue between really Jalen, Gerald, and Jordan. And really Jalen and Jordan. So, she shouldn't have stepped in it, because every time she kept stepping in it, in a way that, that's like me saying that, in a way, because Kiana, I'm introducing her to, my friend group or whatever, that's like saying if somebody else came in and said something to Kiana, I would tell Adria, well, you should have stuck up for Kiana. When they're still getting to know each other, I shouldn't put that on her. Yeah. Because they're still getting to know each other, and I feel like that's not fair to that person. And I'm not even saying that she wouldn't have, but it's just the fact that you can't come at somebody else like that because y'all friendship and y'all dynamic is different than theirs. Exactly. And it was like she should have just let Jalen handle that on his own. She shouldn't have stepped in for that.
That messes up friendships when you try to make their friends be. A friend to them when their relationships are different. You can't do that because they don't know them as long as you've known them. Mm-hmm. Now that's for you to do because you know them. They don't know me or know him. So I just feel like that's where they should have just handled it as grown men, not even involve their girlfriends because neither one of them were there. They don't know what really happened.
Of course they gonna ride for their name.
Right. And Ty's gonna ride. You can't mess with Jalen. You can't mess with Gerald when it comes with Cheryl. Okay.
They gonna ride for
they call her She Nasty, whatever. C Nasty gone, for Gerald. And I feel like Ty shouldn't have really did that at Cheryl's thing either because that's her place of business. That's where she making her money. And you wouldn't have wanted nobody to do that if you was doing the event. True. That's where you getting your money. And I feel like y'all could have handled it really outside of it or somewhere else.
She could have easily asked him, "Can you step up? Can we step outside?
Or can we meet up? Or can we meet up? Y'all friend, and that's the thing. Y'all friendship are long. If y'all know each other, and y'all talk, y'all been friends this long. Why couldn't y'all just go sit, have a conversation, sip some wine or something?
That's what I was confused though. She kept saying we've been friends for so long. And it was just like, if y'all have been friends for so long, a lot of them were saying that, and it was like, if you really know your friend, you wouldn't be reacting or acting the way you are. And I was just like, are y'all really good friends? Because the way y'all
portraying is not, which is why I always tell my friends, and even myself, you gotta know your friends. Because there's a lot of situations you will put them in that if you know them, know that it will go wrong. Mm-hmm. And if you know it will go right. Which is why you need to know and get to know your friends. And not just know them, even if y'all know them 7 years. After that 7 years, you still need to get to know them again. Because everybody is you're changing constantly. You're not going to always be the same person.
That's true. Okay, so getting to it. We're almost wrapping it up. What would you like to see from season 2? Who would you like to see come back, join?
We need what's baby name?
Kofi.
He got to come back. Kofi expressions.
Kofi needs to be on the main cast. I would like to see more of Kofi.
I want to know what he does and what he. We know he makes funny faces,
right? Yeah. Can we see more of that?
Okay,
please?
We know what funny faces he do.
More of Kofi, please.
And I wouldn't mind seeing Ty, Amanda back. I love seeing Ty event planning. Yeah. And what Amanda does. Oh, gotta bring my girl Brie back.
Yeah, I want to see more of her entrepreneurial role now that her business is up and running.
Maybe even include some of their other friends. I know they have some friends that have been, on their social media that do
I thought you was about to say, I'm about to say we don't want.
We don't want.
We don't want Tyler friend.
No.
I was like, we don't want
her.
them.
No.
Oh, she can't.
That's not what.
Please don't come back.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I know they have other friends. Just they don't have to be main characters, but just to bring in some more people, you know, that
they go into
that have their own
something.
businesses and something.
Yeah.
Just to even like at the end, maybe credits or something just to say, you know, if you're interested, here are a few people that were on here that have these businesses. You know, just to kind of get the small business out there, just to see more of their business. Yeah.
They know a lot of people who do a lot of big things.
Yeah. Even if Cheryl and Gerald come back, can we see more of like
more Rob? We love to see Rob.
More
Rob,
look
like
he
was having fun teaching, you know. Even see what Jalen's doing different now. If he, you know,
still
got a business or whatever.
Yeah.
Jordan and changed up his little, you know, just.
Yeah, I've been seeing Jordan has been having some
if
so
PJ having got something different in his music when he doing his music.
Oh yeah, his artists that he manages. Yeah, I feel like I want to see more of like them in their roles. More, a little bit more. Can we get a little bit longer episodes?
Right.
More episodes.
More episodes. And even if y'all want to pop Issa up in there, one of them episodes, you know, y'all going one of her events or something, you know.
Because I see y'all was at some of y'all was at the Insecure premiere.
Okay. Even put that in there. Okay. How y'all was doing when y'all saw Lawrence.
And, you know, with the show, I feel like I could see her expanding to, you know, more cities.
Yes.
Hey,
how you doing? We want you, Pooh.
We want your food. We could sign up. We gonna keep it real, authentic, and true. You know, I could be a little extra.
Okay.
You know, I don't even have to be the main character. I'm gonna fight for my spot though. I'm gonna fight for my spot. But yeah. She can even go to Atlanta. You know, you might be exposed to scammers. You might be exposed to the scammers out there.
There are some scammers out there.
So, you know, we can't close out the episode without what the girls do. We briefly kind of talked about this, but we can talk about it again. Could you see yourself dating within the friend group? So say, give this little scenario. Say you and there's two guys. You and the first guy, you know, y'all didn't work. Y'all clicked, but it just didn't work. So this other guy, he pops up. He's interested in you, you know. He initiates conversation, all that whatsoever. Everything's going fine, well, beautiful. Like you're seeing potential in him. And you find out that him and guy number one are friends. What would you do?
Okay. Y'all, I'm not even gonna lie to this camera. I know it's my first time being on here, but I've done that before.
It's okay.
I
have to.
And I've done that before. And it's a very awkward because I'll be one of the people that probably just, you know, exit out the door and just act like I wasn't here, but I wasn't gonna do that. I would probably.
Or like, what if you knew up front, like they were friends?
Oh, I would probably still, you know, act me, but then I'd be like, hey, you know, me. I would probably have to pull guy number two aside and be like, you know, I did, you know, meet up with your friend before. It didn't work. It wasn't too serious. You know, we ain't do nothing like Jordan and Becky, but, you know, we ain't do nothing but, you know, I just wanted to let you know, be upfront with you, let you know, like, we did hang out once, had wine, whatever, blah, 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 and, yeah, but focus on you now. Not him. We still, you know, say, hey, speak, but, you know, I just don't want you to feel awkward, you know, or anything. And he'd be like,
you want me to go?
See, I ain't never been in this situation before, so I can't say that. But, I mean, I feel like, if I didn't know, then I can't say that I wouldn't. Because not always are guys saying, oh, this is my homeboy, this is my homeboy, this is my homeboy. You typically find out if you end up being around them. But I feel like that would be a conversation that, you know, you and that person that you're actually really interested in talking to would have to have. Just be like, you know, we did talk or whatever the case may have been. Just be upfront. Don't let it come from that person. Let it come from you.
Because then it's going to look bad.
Yeah, because then it's going to look... And then the longer you wait, the longer it'll make it seem like
something going on, or
it's something still going on. But just probably up front, if I knew that they were friends, I probably wouldn't. Mm-hmm. Just because at some point they're having a conversation about you.
That's right.
Like they're having a conversation about you, and they talk just as much, probably more.
They talk more
messier
than us.
Yes. So it's like I don't know if I would want to be your topic and that person's topic of conversation whenever you talk. Like I don't want to be your topic. The only person that should be talking about me is you, but not to that other person. Like. So I probably wouldn't just to save myself some time. Like if talking to you didn't work out, don't expect me to be in the friend group talking to somebody else. I
wouldn't really.
But if I didn't know, then
I wouldn't talk to anyone in the friend group. Just say that because there's just too many problems
right. And most times you really don't even know that they're in the same friend group. To be honest, you tend to find out.
Guys call everybody their friends. And just
right, and then
half
of them don't even be your friends by 2 days later because something happened.
Exactly.
Or they said the wrong thing. Right.
You use the word friend very loosely.
Come on, this girl.
So, I can't say that I wouldn't do this because I did. But hear me out. It was not out of spite. It was not me trying to get back. No, I was very hesitant about even getting in the situation because I knew that they were associates, friends, or whatever they want to call themselves. However, things with me in person, one didn't work. I'm not gonna sit up here and try to categorize you in the same box as them or try to write it off. Just trust me, I tried to avoid it. It just happened. But would I do it again? No. I wouldn't. It didn't work. I would not do it because I don't want to sit up here and constantly have to think like, are y'all having a conversation about me? Like,
right.
I don't want to sit up here and think that y'all are sitting up here talking about how y'all both done had me or y'all both done did this and that or exactly. Like no, I would rather not. Yeah. So I wouldn't recommend. I wouldn't.
If you can avoid it,
just avoid it. Please.
Especially if you know how you are in relationships. Yeah. I'll say that too. If you know you're an all-in type of person in a relationship, I would say don't do it because the last thing you want is to put yourself in a potential embarrassing situation because you don't know how they are. You don't know how they could conversate with each other. You don't know, what more they could be adding that could not be true about you. If you know how you are in relationships, just don't even put yourself in there. But if you know you're okay, you know how to handle yourself, you good, then go ahead. But just let it either be either work for you or it'll be a learning lesson.
Yeah. Just choose the smartest decision. And always choose you.
Exactly. Choose you.
If boy number 2 acting like boy
number 1, girl, just choose yourself. Just walk away.
You ain't worth it ain't worth the time.
Indeed, walk away.
Indeed.
Okay. Yeah, this baby, I got spoiled today. This is a long episode. Y'all gonna get a long one the final episode too. Yes. We're gonna have some special guests. But as always, subscribe to the YouTube. Follow us on the gram because that's really where it be at.
I put in the so y'all
everybody Instagram's gonna be on there. The podcast Instagram. Leave ratings because a special announcement is coming soon.
Yes, so we need y'all to
if you ain't left no rating, if you ain't subscribed to YouTube or you're not following Instagram, then you're missing out. Because
let us know what y'all want to talk about. If y'all
season
got 2, season 2. Y'all got some more topics or anything.
And please interact with us. We're not meaning anything like that. Interact with us. Follow us. Everything.
We really lit.
For real.
We really
want to hang with the gang.
Y'all really Get with it.
But yeah, as always, stay gracious. Stay
Stay on your grind.
Stay on your grind.
I pray the Lord bless you.
Stay 10 tones
Okay.
down.
You know.
And as always, you can always pull up your seat to the table with the girls. Okay.
Period.
So